Structura View provides field testing services for commercial building envelope systems and other complex structures. Our one purpose or our one goal in working with you is to provide you with accurate condition assessments that give you actionable data to know exactly what you need to do with the roof system to, one, if you're in the acquisition process, understanding what the actual condition is to make sure that the deal is structured properly for what you're trying to accomplish. Number two is when you're actively in a construction project and you're either remediating a roof or having a new roof installed, making sure that it's done according to standards and specifications and that you're getting exactly the roof that you're sold and warranted. Number three is taking it from that new installation or construction process and making sure that it's going to live its sold and warranted lifetime. That requires maintenance, that requires review, upkeep. You can't just let a roof sit for 20 years and expect it to last 20 years. And then once you reach your forecasted end of life for that roof system, doing detailed condition assessments that allow you to understand exactly what you're dealing with to make actionable decisions on exactly what's next. Can you do a recover? Can you do a coating? Is it completely shot? Do you have another couple years you can kick it down the road and get more value out of that roof system? We're here to help provide you with that data and collection of information to help you make the best and right and most accurate decision on what you do next. When it comes to construction for waterproofing, dealing with facades, walls, windows, doors, and roofs, when you're dealing with either low sloped or steep sloped systems, there's a lot of details involved. You can have the best team, the best contractor, the best guy to do the job, but there's a reality that we all face and that we're human and we make mistakes. And there's a lot of challenges and complexities that come with these projects. So if you've ever found yourself dealing with managing or being the owner of a project where you're in the midst of remediation, you're in the midst of a roof recover, you're in the midst of a new build project, and you're unsure about whether or not all of your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted with respect to the accuracy and the installation process being completed according to specifications, then there's a huge opportunity for you to seek outside help, quality assurance, and observation work to help ensure that you are getting the quality product that you're being sold and warranted from the beginning. A lot of times, it's very common that in the beginning, the roof system looks good from the outside, but if you're not studying and walking through each step of the process and documenting the installation of the assemblies, problems can come up later, 1 to 6 years down the road that you had no idea about before, but could have been caught during a proper quality assurance and observation process during the construction phase of the project. We see it a lot when down the road, 5 or 6 years later, like we're actually actively working on a project right now for a client he has systemic failure in the system that was installed improperly. But now that the roof is 6 years old, they've now surpassed their 5-year workmanship warranty, and it's their financial obligation to remediate and get that roof back up to par to hopefully last its extended lifetime. But the roof system is now in a jeopardized state. Another risk that we often see is lack of proactive maintenance and inspection. When these systems are installed and designed, they're designed to last a long time. But a lot of the materials that are used, for example, like sealants, typically last only 5 to 7 years before they age out and start causing issues or allowing water to get into either a roof system or a facade. If you're not staying on inspecting and studying a lot of these conditions, they can turn into costly maintenance issues later, as opposed to being proactive and staying ahead of things and making sure that you're understanding and you're knowing, hey, we're at the 4-year mark on these sealant conditions for both your roofing and your facade. They look good, but we're starting to see some degradation in the material. By then, you can then predict, okay, at year 5 or 6, we're gonna know that it's time to go ahead and proactively replace those things. Alternatively, if you're not staying ahead of that, we've seen it so many times. We're actively working on another case or another project with a client that maintenance was deferred and They started having leaks and they started having issues, and they started worrying about whether they had structural issues because they had a lot of gaps and large cracks starting to appear in the building. After a more detailed investigation, fortunately, the assessment showed that what it boiled down to was a lack of maintenance on a lot of those materials that degrade and fall apart over time, that simply needed to be completely pulled off the building and then fully replaced to bring the building back into a good and serviceable condition that stops water entry, stops cracking and other failures, and helps continue to extend the serviceable life of that system. In a similar respect, from facade to roofing, we see a lot of similar materials and a lot of similar failures. Staying ahead of that will save you money by proactively maintaining it and keeping ahead of those conditions. Now, if you've done a really good job at keeping up with your maintenance, your annual or semi-annual inspections, then you will likely succeed at helping to extend or get that assembly via facade or roof to its sold and serviceable lifetime. So let's just set an example. You got a roof system that just reached the 20-year mark. We forecasted it and maintained it to last that long. If you're doing your annual inspections, you've got a pretty good idea, like, are we near our end of life, or is it going to be extended a little bit further? When you get to your forecasted end of life on an assembly, it's important to do a detailed diagnostic. Think of it like getting an MRI done with a doctor to do a full body scan and understand what all of the conditions are so that the doctor can make an educated decision on what is best for you in the scenario that they're presented with. What we do is we provide and we implement the latest technology and verification processes. So we give you a confident assessment of exactly what your roof and your facade condition looks like so that you can make actionable decisions on exactly what you need to do moving forward to most cost effectively get you a watertight assembly. If you find yourself in a position with your roof or facade that you feel like you're constantly chasing leaks, you have a roofer come out and they fix one leak, and then the next rainstorm you've got another one in a new location and it's constant, you feel like you're spending a lot of time, you're spending a lot of money, and you're almost chasing your tail. Or with your facade, you fix one area that stops a leak with this window and then another one pops up. If you find yourself in that situation and it's frustrating and it's costly, you may be near the end of life on that roof system. So in those scenarios, whether it's earlier than you had forecasted or budgeted on time or later, being able to assess the conditions is really important for understanding what's next. If it's been a poorly maintained system, you implement testing to understand the diagnosis of the condition. It may be too late and you may have too much moisture in the roof to be able to pursue a recover or an alternative solution, and you've got to go with full replacement. Or if it's been on time and you've done your maintenance and your proactive inspections and you know the roof's in good condition, but it's really starting to see systemic failure and aging and degradation of material, you could be in an excellent position to pursue a more affordable remediation solution. Another scenario is if you know you're at the end of the age of the life of that assembly and you're getting a lot of different advice. So for example, you've got 4 different bids from 4 different contractors and they all say you need to do all of these different things, and one says you need to do a moisture scan and another says you don't and you can do a coating. Whatever that situation is, anytime you can consolidate and take a step back and work with somebody who works directly for you and represents you in your best interest can get everybody on the same page. So then when you work with those 4 contractors, you're presenting them with an assembly or a remediation solution that's right for your roof system, in the sense that we know the condition and we know that what we're pursuing is going to be a great fit for what you need. And then 2, once you understand the right assembly, making sure it fits your budget and your long-term goals and strategy for the asset. And then 3, making sure that you're selecting the right contractor for the project. Presenting the same scope of work for all 4 of them, or whatever quantity to bid on, will give you an apples to apples comparison to know, like, yes, this is the contractor we need to go with. They've got the right price, they've got the right experience, they got the right skill set, they have everything they need from the manufacturer. You have confidence in knowing to move forward. as opposed to the alternative of being pulled in different directions and not truly understanding what is truly best and who is the right contractor for the job. We recently worked with a client to help perform a detailed condition assessment of a roof system in the acquisition process. During the property condition assessment, they learned that the roof system was likely not in very good shape. So as part of the negotiation strategy, the existing owner had proposed to go ahead and put a recover on the roof system. The new ownership team, in their wisdom and experience, decided they wanted to have a detailed assessment of the roof system to make sure that what is being proposed from a financial perspective as part of the deal was going to make sense for the long-term health of the roof system in the building. Because as we know, roofing is a very expensive component to the building and the ongoing maintenance of that building. In this situation, it was really intuitive of them to pursue testing services such as a moisture scan to understand exactly what was going on and make sure it was a good fit. Fortunately for them, they got reassurance by performing a moisture scan and knowing that yes, the roof was aged out and had problems, but it was still in a recoverable state. So as part of the deal, having the existing ownership team do a roof recover on that project ended up being a good fit and gave the new ownership team that was buying the building peace of mind and knowing that it was going to be a good long-term and financially viable solution. Now, another scenario on the flip side of that being a good scenario, another owner that we worked with in the last year or so came to us saying that, hey, we've had this building for about 2 years now. We thought we had a new roof system, but it's leaking in a few different places throughout the building. Can you come look at it and help us understand what's going on with it? After a detailed condition assessment, this is honestly, from my personal experience, one of less than a handful of roofs that we've looked at that I could say was literally 100% wet. So after doing verification, so when we do our testing services, we verify. It's very important to verify. You want to have confidence in knowing that what we think is wrong with the roof is actually wrong with the roof. So part of our verification process is to core the roof system so we can see, is it wet where we think it's wet, and what is the roof's assembly? So in this case, we presented back to the owner wet assembly and 2 roof systems being installed. So you had an original roof system that was saturated and wet and degraded, and then a new roof assembly that was put on top. When we went back to the owner, his response back was, are you sure that that's what's there? Because our contract from buying the building says that we should have gotten a brand new, fully replaced roof. Well, after digging more into it, the contractor from the roofing contractor that installed the roof, their contract said it was supposed to be a full replacement, and the contract from the acquisition said the same thing. But that is not at all what he got. What he ended up getting was a misinstalled new roof system that was installed over an existing failed and saturated roof system. So by nature of that, he now has $1 million financial responsibility to replace that roof for his tenants when that was not financially budgeted or forecasted or a part of the deal from the beginning. Now, if he had had a detailed condition assessment during the acquisition process, he would have known that the roof was not completed as he was promised and sold the building to have a new roof system for. Or alternatively, if the deal was for the roof to take place later, having quality assurance and inspection services and implemented into the process to make sure that he is getting what he was promised. In this scenario, it's gone back to likely a legal situation to where they're trying to figure out how they're going to proceed with this. And they've had to go an entire rainy season in Florida with leaks and continuing patching and repairing just to try to help mitigate the pain points that their tenants are feeling while they resolve this matter. As a property owner or manager, we understand that it's very important for you to maintain your assets and make sure that they stay on budget long term. At Structura View, we're here to help you accommodate that when it comes to building envelope, commercial roof, low sloped or sloped roof, and facade maintenance considerations. No matter where you are in the aging cycle of your building envelope, we want to walk with you every step of the way to help you see success. By doing that, we implement various different inspection and testing practices to, one, through quality assurance, make sure you get a good completed construction project, help you walk through the life of that asset to make sure that you're keeping up with maintenance periods and that, hey, we hit the 5-year mark, it's time to replace sealants. And then helping you work with quality contractors to get it done. Once you get to the end of the age of that assembly, we work with you to provide those detailed testing services such as moisture scans, fastener pull tests, wind uplift testing or adhesion testing, other miscellaneous test methods that give you the exact data that you need to make the decision on what is going to be next. Additionally, our goal is to walk beside you to help you with long-term planning, financial forecasting to know like in 5 years it's time to replace this and you need to be financially prepared for that maintenance item, and help essentially mitigate the risk of dealing with a lot of the unknown when it comes to these maintenance concerns. Through that, we aim to help you see a roof live its sold and warranted lifetime, if not longer. Now, for the third-party professionals that work with the property owners and managers, such as commercial roofing contractors, insurance professionals, other engineers, architects, we aim to come alongside you to provide you with the accurate testing data and information that you need to help consult and provide information to make the right recommendation on what is best for that scenario. We deploy all the same technologies, moisture scan technologies with Tramex deck scanners and other miscellaneous moisture meters, nuclear gauges, thermal imaging, electronic leak detection. We have all kinds of different testing technologies that provide value in different ways, and our goal is to guide you on exactly what test methods make the most sense for the scenario that you need to understand and have data on. Now, we can do all of the due diligence in the world to help you maintain that asset and see it live its sold and warranted lifetime. But we live in Florida. We know that there are a lot of unknown variables such as hurricanes, hail, other wind events, and our everyday solar load from the sun that causes a lot of degradation in the materials that exist on the outside of our building. Now, with those unknown variables, a hurricane hits. If you've done your due diligence and you do your annual inspections, you've got a backlog that shows we maintain our roof and this roof was in great condition prior to the storm hitting. After the date of a loss, you experience damage, you experience leaks. We come out and we do a detailed condition assessment, studying visual conditions, studying for moisture intrusion, because you could have one opening in a roof that causes over 25% of your roof to actually be failed or compromised due to moisture intrusion from that one opening. With that data collection and the historical information that we have on the roof, you can then present this information to the carrier to help expedite an insurance claim or prove the condition. In reality, insurance carriers get into battle with property owners and managers over roofs because there's a lot of unknowns as to what's a pre-existing condition versus what was a condition that was caused by a weather event. By following the proper procedures and presenting the data well should help you mitigate the claims process and end up with a mutually beneficial agreement on what is actually claimable from storm damage. We've talked a lot about the valuable information that we can provide through the testing data and inspections that we provide. The most important piece of that is being able to provide you with a report that clearly defines and shows you exactly where problems exist and what the extent of those problems looks like. Structura View's Essentials Report is designed specifically for roofing contractors who have an existing contract in place to perform a roof recover or a coating. In this scenario, really what you need is a moisture scan to keep on file for the roofing project, and you need the roof to be painted on exactly where everything needs to be cut out and replaced based on the results of the moisture scan. We do not sacrifice the quality of our scan, but we provide you with a more consolidated report that gives you the essentials of what you need to have documented for warranty purposes down the road. Structura View's enhanced report is designed to give both property owners and managers and third-party professionals a more detailed review of the condition of what's being studied. In this scenario, we provide you with a detailed map and detailed images that show you where the extent of problems exist, so that when you have to come back later for full remediation, you've got great documentation that shows where the problems are or were at the time of the report, knowing that if you paint the roof at the time, 6 months later, that paint's probably not going to be there anymore. It also gives you a very detailed understanding of what was your roof's composition. Do we have 2 roof assemblies or 1? Where was moisture retained within the roof's composition? So was it membrane only? Was it in a recovered system, or was it saturation throughout, or was it just only at the deck because it traveled there from somewhere else? Having all of that data is very, very important to understanding what needs to happen. So this is often provided in the planning phase. We're not 100% sure what we want to do with this roof system, and we need to figure out what's next. That's where the enhanced report comes into play. Let's talk about Structura View's comprehensive report. Our goal is to deliver you actionable data and clear insights in a format that's easy for you to understand. In our effort to do that, this report format is unique in the sense that we give you a detailed report that reviews and gives you images of where all your problems exist and what the extent of those problems are, shows you composition, shows you verification information, and all of the data points that come with an important and robust report process. To take it a step further, we also give you an interactive view of where all those problems exist. So for example, you need to have a building envelope condition assessment performed. We implement drone technology and 3D modeling to give you an interactive view that shows you where all of your issues exist on the building, where all of the moisture was observed and is marked out in a 3D model view that allows you to be able to click on a problem and see images of what all those details are. How long is this crack? How thick is this crack? How many different angles we can view of whatever that failure type is. That gives you a robust and detailed understanding of what the condition of your building looks like and is very applicable for various different aspects of maintaining and managing these assets.